here's where the embarrassing part comes.
You masturbate to her rack.
Well, listen, it was dark, and I was sitting up front, and my back was to almost everyone in the house. I'm in there, and they say the movie starts at 7, and it'll probably end about 9. And then there's an actor named Saul Rubinek, who's probably been in like 1,001 movies. And
in the movie or in the theater with you?
The guy, the actor, Saul Rubinek, is in the movie. He plays Lee Donowitz. He plays the producer who's scoring the coke.
Okay.
He has a pretty decent part in the movie. You'd recognize the guy if you saw him. And he is the actor who represents the movie. So when we're done with the movie, he's going to talk about the movie.
Oh, really?
So
they do that every week like that?
I don't know if this goes on every week, but not only if you look at the screen, you can if you sort of see that picture, you'll sort of remember that face. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, he looks kind of like us.
He's there, and he's an actor, and he's been in 100 movies, and he's going to talk about what it was like doing the movie True Romance. And that's going to take place after the movie. Now,
and we got a special surprise, everyone. Saul Rubinek is going to be here at the end.
So
Saul Rubinek. So, let me show you on IMDb.
Right. So he's there, and in the movie, he's great in the movie, and he has a nice role in the movie. And here's the problem. I told Dr. Drew I would do Loveline last night.
Uh-huh.
So I have to be there at 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Otherwise, the show will start without me.
This means you didn't bring Lynette to movie night with you.
That's right. I'm going straight from there to there. Uh-huh. So I'm now the movie starts late. Starts about 7:20, 7:25. And I'm looking at my little iPhone, looking at the clock on it. And then I'm thinking, when the movie's over, I got to make my break. I'm sitting down low. There's 30 people in this thing. Saul Rubinek is going to do his whole dissertation about what his motivation was to play this horrible Jewy producer, and I need to make my escape. Otherwise, I will walk out in the middle of his Q&A or in the middle of his dissertation. And so I'm sitting there, and the movie ends, and I look at my phone, and it's like 9:22, and I think, all right, I got to make my escape. And as I start to rise up, before the credits even roll, he just starts into it. Tony Scott originally contacted me about playing this role. I went in for true story, funny story. I went in for and he never shut up. He never took a breath. He never hiccuped. He just galloped through one story to the next. And now I'm sitting at the bottom of this thing, and I'm staring at my iPhone, and it says 9:39. And he doesn't take a breath. He's just going. He's mowing right, and everything's like, he's halfway into funny story, true story, true story. So Tony says to me, Tony says with his British accent, Tony says, and then I say to Tony, and I'm realizing I have to stand up now and go, stop. I have to leave, but I don't want to do it. Because Norman Lear and a bunch of other famous people are in there. I'm low man on the totem pole. I've never been there before. I'm at the bottom of the thing, and there's no escape. I'm just going to have to stand up and say, stop talking. I have to leave. And no one knows what Loveline is, and no one's really going to understand.
You can't pretend you're about to explode shit-wise or anything like that?
I should have grabbed my ass and run for the door. And now I look down at my watch, and he's doing this thing where it feels like he's at the end, and he's like, and I told Tony Scott to suck it. And there's a pause, and I go, listen, I have to, and then he said, and now everyone just looked at me, and I said, everyone's just looking at me like, why are you, and I said, I have to leave. And he literally said, I was just about to say the punchline. I was just getting to the punchline. And I said, I don't know. I'm not, it's good. It's a good story. And it's, by the way, this was Sunday night. So it's like, where the fuck are you going? Where do you have to be on a Sunday night at 9:39? And I did one of those things where I apologized to everyone and left. And he just kept saying, I'm right in the middle of a punchline. Why do you have to do this? And I don't know.
Poor Saul Rubinek. This is his big moment, and you ruined it for him.
I know. I didn't know what to do.
You should send them something.
I know.
Send them one of your cars. So
that was my embarrassing story. I
you
know
won't
Jimmy,
be invited back then, probably. If it makes you feel
evidently
any
not.
better, I was never invited to that, even though I know Phil and have run into him a million times. You know what? He's probably threatened by my pizza oven and by the fact that I make my own pizzas. I don't hire a guy from Mozart to make them
I
for
told
me.
him Jimmy had a pizza oven at his home, and it was almost the same as this one, and he said, that was about it. Because I just think
I'm getting a pizza oven it will be beyond compare.
Really?
It's coming next week, and there's a guy named Chris Bianco. He's got the greatest pizza place. It's in Phoenix, Arizona. New York Times said it's the best pizza in the United States, and I have to agree. It is absolutely great. And Chris has acquired an oven for me. It's built in Houston, Texas.
Really?
And it's on wheels, too. Mm-hmm. So next time I move, I don't have to get a whole new oven. I can
Right.
in fact, I could probably live in it. I could roll it around if we could hook an engine up to it or something. But it's going to be spectacular.
Is it made custom, or is it just what this company
It's
does?
made custom, yeah. But that's all they do is make. But Chris is crazy. He has to build it to certain. He even built a mini model of it and sent it to me. And the model is made. It's all welded together, and he put little fake firewood inside, or like just sticks as the firewood, and put a little candle in there so I could look and see how it would look when it burns.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Too bad it was doused when you jacked off on it.
Yeah.
It's so
bad for
weird.
who?
It is crazy as human beings. I mean, how kind of weird and dialed in we are. I mean, that you can tell the very subtle difference between good pizza and great pizza.
Well, we can, but most people can't, and it's unfortunate. It really is. And the worst people are the ones who think they can.
Yes.
And because if somebody tells me a certain pizza is great and I have to try it, I will always try it. I mean, unless it's totally out of reach, I'll try it. And so many times you go and it's just like, it's not really that good. Like, they just get excited about saying someplace has the best pizza, you know, because it's near them or they discovered it in their mind. They get to tell you about it.
Also, they should know you better. Like, they should say, this is mediocre to shitty pizza, but you
They
should
don't
try
know
it anyway.
themselves is the problem.
Oh, okay.
They don't know themselves.
Oh, was I red in the face when I turned Jimmy on to a place called Domino's